Hare Krishna, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So, when the word cancer comes, we are all dumbfounded. We just feel ourselves totally surrendering and completely in the hands of this devouring disease. This topic is very close to me, Kapil, only because there are a lot of scars which has left in my heart. And today on Pavitra, I have this opportunity to speak about something that is very, very close to my heart. And who is a wizard in this profession, who is like a blessing, who is like a person who's just God sent to us. So, I mean, I feel myself so fortunate that I'm going to actually exploit all Dimple's talents and her knowledge and everything. And I want to share it with most of you. Because if you have a person like Dimple, I don't think we should spare even a moment where, we can't take the best out of her. We are going to squeeze her completely so that everyone benefits to the epitome. So Dimple, hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Those are very kind words you've used to describe me. I'm very humbled and flattered.
And these are the words that are coming from my heart, darling. So it is nothing that is fabricated. I have not prepared myself. I do not want to take any quotes or anything from the net or and make it fabricated because this topic is very close to me because I have lost people who are very very close to me, like right from my mom to my mom-in-law to my sister. I mean, these three people are my most dear ones. And
So sorry for your loss.
yes, and unfortunately, Dimple, we had no knowledge of this. Honestly, we always dwelled in the fool's paradise where we thought that this was never going to happen to us. Cancer always happened to someone else, never in our family, never to us. You know, I mean, we never could fathom, that, I mean, something like this can ever happen. And when it happens, it leaves a deep scar. That monstrous disease, it just stands in front of us and it wraps us in its gruesomeness where we feel completely, helpless. I mean, even now when I'm talking to you, I don't know how I'm controlling because I remember the first person who got was my nanima. Of course, I never saw her. My mom was only 6 years old when she passed away. And that time, of course, there was nothing. There was no awareness. There was not, too many people. It happened once in millions or, daughter. I was 6 months pregnant and I really didn't know whether I was supposed to celebrate and welcome my child or to or bid farewell to my mom. So, that was the scariest part. It has left such a deep scar within me. And unfortunately, you know what? I've realized that that you only dwell and you get so engrossed with that grief that you forget that there are other people who could also, and we should work on that. And we should try and somehow, because I have realized one thing. I'm a great follower of Krishna. We believe. I'm very religious, and I know one thing, that Krishna never gives anything without a cure. If he gives a disease, he always gives a cure. And we are only hovering around man-made things like allopathy and all those sorts of things we will do. But a science which was given by him, which was ancient, followed by our sages, we never look into it. I somehow feel that we will be running, we'll be sprinting make money, who are there, but we have never followed the basic, the tradition, which is already there in our scriptures, by the sages. We never do that. And then you realize there is a whole science which is there to help us out. But we've never taken that help. After my It has galloped to a terminal disease. It is just closed off. The same thing happened with her. And same thing happened with my sister, who's only 51. I mean, that's too young. And Dimple, I beseech you to tell us that is there a cure for this in Ayurveda? Is there a thing that we can work on it and prevent our generations and our people to just help us out? We need your help. We need your help.
It's very kind of you, to share your personal experiences on a public platform like this, where people can actually see your vulnerabilities, your sadness, your struggles, your pain. It takes a lot of courage to bear our wounds. So I must congratulate you for that. And to be honest, I always knew I was going to do something for cancer because, like you said, it deeply affects the people surrounding the one who's affected by cancer. And for me, it has happened a few times already. Begin with, right now I'm in Bangalore in the countryside. I just posted a video to you guys, tagging you guys saying I'm in the countryside. I came to Bangalore last week for my aunt's funeral who passed away from cancer. I just arrived in Bangalore for that. Now, this aunt of mine has been there during my toughest days, toughest times. She stood up for me when the whole of society and my family stood up against me, and she stood up for me, and that's the fondest memory I have. On Saturday, I got a lot of missed calls on my phone, and I didn't attend any of those missed calls because they were unknown numbers, and by default, I don't attend. Next morning, I get a message on our group chat, my aunt has passed on. I immediately called up my brother and my father to find out what exactly happened. She raised my father. She's my father's elder brother's, my father's half-brother's wife. And the news that I got was that she passed away from cancer, and it was stage 4 cancer, and it was 10 days ago that she discovered that her liver had got corrupted. And I said, how come none of us knew about it? And then my brother's like, oh, she was trying to call you yesterday. She wanted to start Ayurveda. That deeply hurt me. You guys can hear me, right? Like thumbs up if you can hear me clearly, because I do have 2 logins. Yes. All right. I get the news that previous day, my aunt, who never calls me on the phone, we only meet whenever we are in Bangalore at weddings and events, reached out to me and I missed that call. And next morning, I get the news that she's no more. Now, I dug further, putting my guilt aside. I was like, how could I have missed that call? I could have spoken to her one day before she passed on, right? So it seems that 2 years ago, she discovered a tiny lump and a breast cancer was diagnosed for her, but she didn't want anyone to know about it. There's also a lot of shame with breast cancer, unfortunately, in our society. A lot of women try to hide it. I don't know what was her reason for hiding it. She said she felt no pain, no discomfort, and she didn't want to burden anyone with her truth. She didn't want anyone to know about it, except the few select family members. So for 2 years, she was taking medication and stuff like that. And a month ago, I happened to meet her at a common lunch meeting, and I looked at her and I wanted to tell her that, you look like you've shrunk. Like I can see your veins. I see something is missing, but I couldn't because of a lot of people around us. So I said, okay, next time when I see her, I'll tell her that. And the next time never came. 10 days ago, the cancer spread to the liver. It became stage 4 cancer, and the doctors had given up, and they decided, oh, let's try Ayurveda. And that's when they reached out to me. May her soul rest in peace. She was extremely religious, very aware and conscious about her path, her spiritual journey. She had no desires, no attachment. She was able to pass on without any suffering because of her spirituality. She only experienced back pain and neck pain on the last day. No discomfort until then. But my words, the words that came to my mind is too little, too late. I get a call 24 hours before she passed away at stage 4 cancer saying, can you do something? Too little, too late. I wish she had called me 2 years ago when she detected breast cancer. I wish she had given me an opportunity. I wish she had trusted me. I wish I had already spoken about cancer and Ayurveda loudly enough a few years ago. There are a lot of regrets, but then this was my path and journey, and I realized this when I was in 12th grade. Another story, again, to bring you guys to the context on how Ayurveda can change people's lives. In 12th standard, my best friend was diagnosed with adenocarcinoma, cancer of the lungs. It broke my heart because I was really young and she was really young and naive, and we thought the world is going to be a beautiful, happy place to live in, right? So she went through chemotherapy several times, radiotherapy, bee sting therapy, all kinds of therapies there is to do for cancer. And it was painful and excruciating journey. And I was with her for like 20 years of this journey. After a few rounds of chemotherapy and all the, diagnosis and everything, she decided to give up on these medicines. She instead turned towards food. This was 15 years ago while I was watching her. 20 years ago, she was detected with cancer. And 15 years ago, she decided to give up on all the medicines and turn her attention towards food. She started using food to cure her body. She started listening to her body and eating an exact kind of food that the body craved. And she would go days together fasting and not eating food. And days together, she would eat the food that is, befitting a king or a queen or befitting 10 people. And she was skinny. Like, she was just listening to her body. And it's been 20 years now, she's cancer-free. But when she was detected with cancer in 12th grade, I was determined that one day I'm going to set up something that is going to help other cancer patients to not go through this suffering, that will help other cancer patients come out of it. Now, these are two stories. One is extreme, my aunt who passed on. One is my childhood friend who survived using the power of food, not chemotherapy, not bee sting therapy, not radiotherapy, the power of food. There's another success story that I want to tell you guys, which will change the way you look at Ayurveda. Again, before I dive deep into this topic, please remember that I'm not demonizing allopathy or modern science. It has a role to play. Modern science and R&D is very important to validate what we've achieved in Ayurveda in the last 5,000 years. And when we marry modern science with traditional Ayurveda, we can save humanity. We need to bring the two together. We need to marry modern science with traditional Ayurveda to save humanity. And there must be no discrimination, no satanizing, because the universe is such that what you hate is what you're going to attract into your life the most. So if you're going to demonize or hate Ayurveda or allopathy or become a fanatic of one size, you're going to end up being very blindsided to the process, right? So accept everything has a role to play, and we must go with the flow of the universe, the flow of the river. Now, there is this patient who came to us for Panchakarma treatment. This is what we specialize in. Panchakarma is a process of detoxifying the body, removing all undigested food, parasites, bacteria, poison, toxins from the body that has been collected over many years. Preservatives, chemicals, pesticides, insecticides, they all get ingested in our body from food, water, air, no matter how organic you eat. Right? Now, these pollutants and toxins, once they're inside the body, they create havoc because they're not leaving the body. So when you eat a packaged food, it has a shelf life of 6 months. It can survive in your stomach also for 6 months. If a plastic cover could not corrode that food, how can your stomach digest that food? It's going to survive in your stomach also for 6 months. The preservatives stay there. They start entering the bloodstream. The bloodstream starts circulating these toxins and preservatives and poison to all the organs. And once they start settling in, the organs start oxidizing with age and they start becoming cancerous. Sometimes the cells start misbehaving. What is cancer? Cells misbehaving. Cells mutating uncontrollably, forming tumorous lumps and cancer and such, right? I myself was detected with fibrocystic benign lumps when I was in 12th grade, and I had undergone 2 painful surgeries and needle biopsies and mammograms and a whole lot of tests to make sure that it wasn't cancer. It traumatized me. That 1 year of surgeries and the tests and scans traumatized me deeply to the point that I went into clinical depression, pretty sure. And none of us realized what depression is until then. So I was lucky, but not everyone was lucky. Now, this patient came to us for a Panchakarma treatment, detoxification. She's a 45 plus lady, beautiful lady, lovely smile. And as case be, we started the Panchakarma treatment. And then I asked her for a life story after a few days, which is usually the case because I like to get to the root cause of their symptoms, which is always a psychosomatic problem. And she said she had cancer a few years ago. She underwent chemotherapy, which was successful. But 2 years later, the cancer came back aggressively, and she has 2 young kids. The second time when the cancer came back aggressively, she gave up. She said, whatever life is left in me, I want to live this peacefully without pain, without trauma, without needles, without surgeries, without chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is basically a very intense, aggressive form of poison that is introduced into the body to kill the cancer cells. But unfortunately, in the process, it also kills your healthy cells. It kills all the good and bad bacteria and destroys your immune system to the point that it's not cancer that kills you sometimes. Sometimes it's a chemotherapy that kills you. And sometimes it's a common cold that kills you after you've survived cancer. Your immune system is completely destroyed. Your gut flora, gut bacteria is completely destroyed. You don't even have the capacity to digest a small meal of dal rice. Okay. And if you catch a common cold or an infection or, some kind of a fever, it's very difficult for you to survive that. So I know a lot of people who've survived cancer, but died of other diseases like tuberculosis and such because they didn't have the immunity and the strength to fight it. So the second time when this lady got cancer, she said, I'm not going back to chemo. And I'm not encouraging you people to say no to chemo. In our clinic, we're very strict that you marry modern science with traditional sciences. You have to approach the disease from both angles. Chemo is for acute conditions. It kills the cancer cells. Ayurveda helps in introducing new cells and immunity quickly so that you can battle the disease and the side effects of chemo. And a good oncologist, a good doctor, cancer doctor, will advise you to start Ayurveda medicine simultaneously to introduce good bacteria and good immunity cells and good cells in your body that can help you fight the chemotherapy side effects, right? Now, the second time when she got cancer, she told her kids, I'm not doing chemotherapy. They started crying very badly. They're like, oh my God, our mother's lost hope. She said, oh, I'm going to do Ayurveda. They started crying even more loudly, saying our mother's completely lost hopes. What is Ayurveda going to do? She went for a detoxification to this Dr. Upur in Goa. I praise him a lot. He has attended to the who's who of India, right from Sonia Gandhi to Rahul Gandhi to Shah Rukh Khan to everybody. And he has a humble 2-room shack in Goa where he does the treatments. And he refuses to move from there. She went to him. He did an 8-day cleanse for her with Virachanam, which is oral medication, very bitter medicines, and detoxification every month for 8 days for 8 months. It's 4.5 years, she's cancer-free. My friend survived cancer with the power of food. This client of ours, who we didn't cure, we are doing her maintenance treatment. We can't take credit for it. She has recovered from cancer and she's still cancer-free for the last 4.5 years. Another year to go before she's declared, completely recovered. She's now treating her other organs that might have suffered during chemotherapy and during the cancer process, like her heart, her liver, her lungs, and all of that. The fourth case study is recently again. 3 weeks ago, I got a call from Dr. Mickey Mehta saying, I have a very important client and I don't want her to go to anyone else but to you. And he often brings his critical cases to us and important clients to us. And I said, I'm flattered. Let me know what the case is. It was a cancer patient, stage 4 again, living in Chembur, and we are in Bandra. And the daughter and son begged and begged, saying, give us any hope. We just want Amma to feel good. We just want Amma to be able to walk again, talk again. I said, stage 4 cancer, Tata Memorial Hospital has already said no. They've just put her on 1 pill every day. They have refused the case and sent her back home. I will not give you false hopes, but what I can tell you is she will be very happy undergoing our treatment. I used to send our therapists during the lockdown all the way to Chembur. It used to be a 2-3 hour journey for them to go to Chembur and come back. Easily 4 hours a day for this patient. And we used to charge the same price that we charge in the clinic. And the therapist kept saying, ma'am, you should charge more. I said, doesn't matter. This is our karma that we serve this cancer patient. She underwent 7 days of Abhyangam. On the 3rd, 4th day, she started talking to my therapist. She was completely bedridden, flattened like a skeleton, just a skinny bag of bones. She was completely bedridden and paralyzed. And she started talking to my therapist on the 3rd, 4th day saying, acha lag raha hai, garam hai ye, thanda hai ye, aur karo, bahut acha lag raha, kab aoge, and all that. It made my therapist so happy. They took pictures of her, and usually they're forbidden from taking pictures of the client. And they were like, ma'am, look at her. She's talking to us. I said, okay, great. 7 days of treatment. 8th day, we got a call that Amma is getting hospitalized, the patient, because she was having breathlessness. I said, okay, sure, no problem. 9 days, she passed away. But what we had the peace of is that we didn't say no to her. We went and she died peacefully, without pain, without the harrowing experience of being plugged to the machines, ventilators and whatnot, without being cut open, without having poison being pumped into her blood and body again, without being treated like a lab mice. She passed on peacefully. My aunt passed on peacefully, luckily, because she had spirituality. But what I'm saying is, out of these 4 cases, there are 2 success stories and 2 stories which was last stage. Don't wait till it's too late. Ayurveda is a way of life. It's something that you practice every single day. And Ayurveda says it is better to preserve the health of the healthy rather than curing the sickness of the sick. Prevention is better than cure. We learned it in our 2nd grade. We've forgotten. Please invest in your health today and stop investing in an insurance, waiting to get sick to buy a hospital bed 20 years from now to be plugged into machines and ventilators. You are psychosomatically tuned to get sick so that you can use that insurance money. I don't pay for insurance. For the last 4 years, I stopped paying for insurance because I don't understand the concept of insurance. I'm mentally preparing myself for disease, for sickness, for a hospital bed. I'd rather use that money to invest in my health every single day, practicing Ayurveda, teaching Ayurveda, running an Ayurveda clinic, eating organic, eating healthy, propagating this knowledge. I'd rather live a more healthy, more powerful now where I'm smiling from my heart. And I didn't know how to smile until the age of 35. All my pictures were terrible. Now I can smile from my heart because I know that I'm living a life that is of meaning, of purpose, aligned with nature, submitting to nature, because we're made of nature. How can you overrule or outrule nature from your process of wellness? Nature created you. You were created in the womb of Mother Nature, not inside a clinic or a laboratory. You're made of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, space. And when you die, no matter what funeral process it is, whether you're cremated or buried or fed to vultures, doesn't matter. You're going back to the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, space. Can you take this body with you onto the next journey? Not possible. You have to submit this body back to Mother Nature. And this is what I tell my patients when they come to us for treatment. I tell them, take it very seriously, please, because your body is not a gift. Your body is a duty from Mother Nature to take care of. She gave it to you in the purest form, the purest alkaline form, free of diseases. You will give this body back to Mother Nature without diseases. And remember all those handicapped people, all those crippled people that you meet on the streets. Remember those diseased people born with autoimmune disorders. They are unfortunate. You are fortunate to have a body that functions, and it's your duty now to take care of this body so you can fulfill your purpose and journey in this life of serving humanity and serving Mother Nature. Your wellness can only come from Mother Nature, not from a laboratory or a clinic where lab mice are tested for the medicines that is going to your body. It has a role, it has a place, but it cannot replace Mother Nature.
So true. So beautiful. Dimple, that was so nice. And I feel that so many times, most of the times, I mean, rather, we are abusing this gift. This thing that we, as you said, duty, not even a gift, but duty. That is so nice. We never take it like that. We take it for granted. We eat whatever we feel like. We don't think. So what are the ways, if you could just guide us, that how do we start? I mean, as you said, it's never too late. And why wait till that, when we have to take, the rounds of the hospital and the medicines and pop and pills and all those things? Because as you said, when the grief comes, it's always balanced with gratitude and always balanced with something that is grace, that is given by nature. Okay. So, I mean, just guide us on how can we start from today, from right now. How do we take this step ahead, and how do we frame, how do we structure our life? And not just me, but everyone, so many of us, we let go. Our family just slips out of our hands. But we cry, we moan, we do this, but we never rectify the lifestyle or something that can help us. So, just help us out on that. Just keep talking. Don't wait for me to ask you. Just keep talking, darling. You are so beautiful. And there's so much to learn, So to just take it. Just go on. Just go on. You're so fantastic. I mean, yes.
Very kind of you. In our clinic, luckily, there are a lot of patients who come to us post surviving cancer. We get a lot of patients like that. Their stories is something that I haven't shared because they're doing well. They've had single mastectomy, double mastectomy. They've had the liver removed, gallbladder and everything. They've survived cancer and they come to us for maintenance treatments. And they look stunning. They're like they've finally understood the meaning of life, which is why, that amazing glow on their face. So we get a lot of patients and we introduce them to the process of Panchakarma. Now, I'm going to tell you 2 things. Ayurveda is more a preventive healthcare science than curative, and it cures diseases, but it emphasizes more on preventative healthcare science. When I say preventative healthcare science, we talk about a personalized diet and a lifestyle based on our body constitution. Okay, because no 2 bodies are the same, no 2 fingerprints are the same in the world, right? So that means you must have a diet and a lifestyle that is personalized for your body type, your body constitution. There are only 7 body types created by Mother Nature as per Ayurveda. We all belong to these 7 body types, and we also have to apply other formulas to it, like our habitat, our topographic and geographic conditions, our age, our genetic conditioning, the information that we've received from our ancestors in our DNA. Autoimmune disorders is basically diseases that we receive in our DNA about what our ancestors have gone through in the many generations before. And we trigger it. How is it that one generation got an autoimmune disorder, 2nd, 3rd, 4th generation had nothing, and 5th generation suddenly triggers autoimmune disease? It's genetic. Reason being, your DNA already has information about all the diseases all your ancestors have gone through. The family tree is already stored in your DNA. When you eat something wrong, Plastic entering your body through ground level pollution, water level pollution, air level pollution, through microwaved foods, through packaged foods that have preservatives and shelf life. They enter the body and they mess around with your DNA, with your information, genetic information, and trigger that information to explode. And then you end up having an autoimmune disorder or a cancer, a dangerous disease like cancer. That's how it begins. So rule number 1, do not put anything in your mouth that is not organic, that doesn't perish within a day, that doesn't rot. When you go to buy fruits and vegetables, if you see a perfectly shaped, polished apple, stay away from it. It's probably waxed. Do not eat foods that look beautiful. Eat foods that rot very easily, because it's a sign that these foods are organic, made from nature, go back to nature. It should not be perfectly shaped and polished and imported, most importantly. Eat local, live global. Eat seasonal to avoid lifestyle diseases. Ayurveda says when a man or a woman is not in a harmonious relationship with his environment and climatic conditions, ends up triggering lifestyle diseases like heart condition, diabetes, arthritis, osteoporosis, and a whole lot. You have to eat seasonal, eat local, because the local food has a local bacteria that is required to boost your immunity against that bacteria. So when you go to Europe, eat European foods. When you come to India, eat Indian foods. You go to Brazil, eat the fruits and vegetables that's grown there. Don't buy these imported foods and feel a lot of pride saying, oh, I got this all the way from there. What did you get? You basically got a box of preservatives and plastic that is going to last in your stomach for several days and weeks and months. So stop eating foods that have preservatives in it, that have shelf life in it, because if it can survive on the shelf for 6 months, it can survive in your body for 6 months. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, eat local, eat seasonal, live global, live an international life. Like I would probably be on an international flight, going to some place fancy like Paris, carrying my theplas and eating moong dal khichdi. This is exactly what I do. Even when I'm going away to really fancy destinations, I'd probably be having my moong dal khichdi. And even if I have to go to a party, I'll have moong dal khichdi at home before going to the party. So I line my stomach walls, and no matter what I eat at that party, even like a few pieces of aperitifs or appetizers, it doesn't affect me. Right? So learn how to feed your body for the sake of the body. Okay, not for the sake of socializing or impressing someone. Please stop having these fancy foods of oats with fruits and berries and cherries and smoothies. They're poisonous. Vegetable smoothies and fruit smoothies are poisonous. Milkshakes are poisonous. Honey baked cookies, honey baked cakes are poisonous. I've spoken in detail about these poisonous combinations that we're eating, which looks beautiful on Instagram, but extremely poisonous, because fruits cannot be mixed with milk and yogurt, they turn poisonous. Fruits cannot be mixed with vegetables, grains, pulses, and meat, they turn poisonous immediately. Eat it alone or leave it alone. Do not heat honey, because it turns into glue, it turns poisonous inside the body. Do not mix vegetables with fruits, it turns poisonous. Do not mix vegetables with milk, it turns poisonous. There are a few exceptions. Now, these are the combinations of food that we're eating. It's called viruddha ahar, bad combinations of food that cause a reaction inside the body and release toxins inside the body, which become poisonous and start corroding our organs. So rule number 1 is, of course, eat local, live global. Do not eat anything that has preservatives in it. Rule number 3, do not eat viruddha ahar, bad combinations of food. It's a detailed chapter, which I'll be very happy to talk about on Pavitra Connect again. Rule number 4, follow the circadian rhythm of the sun. Wake up with the sun, eat the largest meal when the sun is at the peak, because your metabolic fire is really high, and set with the sun. Do not eat food after sunset. There is a reason why cows, dogs, sheep, goats don't eat food after sunset. They follow the rhythm of the sun. They follow the nature's rule. So you have to do the same. You're no exception to it. Just because you invented tube lights and whatnot doesn't mean you can eat food whenever you want. Right? Food after sunset is unhealthy. Don't eat food after sunset. I sometimes probably work out and feel like I need to eat so that I can sleep. There's an exception to those days. But you immediately correct your pattern the next day. Make sure that you eat before sunset. So follow the circadian rhythm of the sun. Follow Ritucharya, seasonal regime. Based on the season, you eat foods. Now, this is a detailed chapter where we tell you which season, what foods are to be consumed. Follow Dinachari rituals, daily rituals like oil pulling, gargling of the throat, steaming, full body massage, powder massage, head massage, then eating, well-cooked vegetables and grains and pulses, never eating raw salads because it's loaded with parasites, which your gut cannot fight, eating fruits that are either stewed or fresh, eating only one fruit at a time, not mixing these fruits. This is called Dinachari rituals. telling you what time to drink water, when to eat what food, what portion control you should have, how much carbs, how much protein, how much vegetables. And don't dissect your food into vitamin A, B12, for, vitamin K and this and that. It's really stupid. Don't do that. The minute you've started dissecting the food has lost its life. Does a frog have life after you've dissected it into the in the lab? No, right? The frog is dead. The same happens to your food when you start dissecting it into vitamin B, vitamin C, don't do that. Eat food. Nature has a rhythm, a pattern. If you're trying to get dark hair, eat foods that are dark green in color, because that is loaded with chlorophyll and iron that makes your hair turn dark. Eat foods, say if you're lacking in blood, eat foods that are rich in blood color. Pomegranate, black grapes, green grapes, right? Beetroot, carrot. It's not accidental. Nature has created everything in a specific pattern. If your gallbladder is suffering, eat fruits that are shaped like the gallbladder. Apples, 6 apples a day, your gallbladder stones will disappear. Or a pear. Your organs, kidney. If you're addressing your kidney, having rajma or kidney beans is very effective. If your brain, pituitary gland is suffering, or if your intuition is weak, have a walnut. It's shaped like the pituitary gland. It's not accidental. Mother Nature is not a coincidence. Animals like tigers, lions follow the rhythm of the sun. They know exactly when to hunt for their food, and they know exactly when to rest and not eat. Do you know tigers and lions also eat grass?
Really?
I came to know about this when I went to Jim Corbett National Park, and the guide told me, yes, they do eat grass. And I was like, no ways. He said, if they had a bad stomach, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, or a stomach cramp because they've eaten very hardcore meat, they would actually eat mud and the grass to cleanse their system. When animals can follow the rhythm of nature, who are we? And there are 3,000 herbs known to mankind right now in Mother Nature. There were more before, 10,000 herbs maybe. There are 3,000 herbs, 650 formulations, 1,700 formulas for cleansing the colon, which is the root cause of cancer, by the way, unhealthy colon, proven by modern science. Basically, what Ayurveda says is, for every disease, there is a herb, there is a cure. For every malady, there is a remedy. The gods once had a competition. And they told this other god, why don't you go around the planet? Because, Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma have created this universe. Why don't you go around Earth and find me one plant that has no use? So back in the day, they had the flying machines. He took about a year to go around the world, and he came back and said, I failed. There's not a single plant, single herb, single animal, bird, or species in this world that has no medicinal value. You guys can hear me? All right.
Yes,
All right.
we can.
Okay, just wave at me if in case, my connection fluctuates, because I have another Zoom connection that I can log on to. So anyways, the truth is there is a herb for every disease. There is a remedy for every malady. Our job is just to go out and find it. Now, there are a lot of practitioners who are marginalized, who are practicing Ayurveda in the authentic form in the forest, in the jungles. They get herbs from the jungle based on the color, ashwagandha, shatavari, gugul, kalpavriks, it's a wishing tree. They get herbs, and based on the disease you have, they give you these herbs to just boil and drink. Now, that is the traditional form of doing it. Dr. Upur, who does it in Goa, also looks at your nakshatra, your birth chart, and looks at what time date you were born in, because he will match your medicines to the herbs that were created during that time of your birth. Seasonal herbs. That's also very powerful. In our clinic, we do something called Panchakarma Treatment, which is basically 5 steps of removing toxins out of the body. 99% of the toxins are removed out of the body in 8-day process, 14-day or 28 days or 40 days, depending on how serious the disease is. If there are no toxins in the body, there's no room for disease. Be it cancer or be it arthritis or diabetes or osteoporosis, all diseases are reversible. And I'll tell you exactly how and why. This is a proven scientific fact. Our body regenerates new cells every single day and degenerates or destroys old cells. Every single day, 4,000 cells are created in our body. Correct? We've all learned this in modern science, in biology class. Every 1.5 years, you have a brand new skin from head to toe. Your old skin has completely come off and you have brand new skin. Every 4 years, you have a brand new liver. Everything has been regenerated. Every 7 years, you have a brand new heart and a brand new brain. The heart and the brain is the last to regenerate. Right? If it is possible for me to have a brand new body every 7 years, how is it that the disease is left behind inside my body? Because psychosomatically, you're holding on to the disease. I'm diabetic, I'm diabetic, I'm diabetic. Every 4 seconds, there is a new cell that is born in your body. The new cell is born, and the agenda and the propaganda it receives from the brain is, I'm diabetic. Okay, I should become diabetic. Okay, I'm becoming diabetic. Right away, boss. There's a psychosomatic origin of diseases, and cancer is also created due to suppression of emotions, anger, frustration, irritability, and negative emotions. Cancer is also triggered due to suppression of feelings and thoughts and emotions and not expressing yourself. And this is proven and written in Ayurveda and proven by modern science that all diseases have a psychosomatic origin. So when we talk about cancer, when we talk about any disease, we have to talk about it in a holistic manner. Body, mind, and emotion. You cannot separate the three and treat your body like a dissected lab mice. You cannot. You have to get to the root cause. Like my friend who treated her body with the power of food, who treated her cancer with the power of food, got to her psychosomatic origin, deep-rooted cause, suppressed emotions in her subconscious mind that was causing cancer. She underwent rigorous form of meditation for 4 hours per day, every single day for several months. And she knew exactly when her body wanted to cough blood and when her body was healing. So you have to marry it with meditation, yoga, and the Ayurvedic Panchakarma treatment, which is a 5-step process. Virechanam, oral medication to lubricate your gastrointestinal tract and to help your body purge the toxins and poison out. Second is Raktamokshan, bloodletting, which is done in isolated areas where the toxins have got collected under the skin. We use leeches and sterilized needles to pull the toxic blood out. The third is Vaman, which is vomiting when there's too much toxins collected in the lung region. We use medicated ghee for 10 days. On the 11th day, we make you vomit it out in a very smooth fashion. Then there is Basti treatment, which is basically a process of introducing medicine through the colon and flushing the waste out. Reason being, modern science has proven that 99% of the diseases, 90% of the diseases are caused due to an unhealthy colon or a leaky gut syndrome. Right from common cold to constipation, cancer to clinical depression, neurological disorders, psychosomatic disorders, gynecological disorders, gastrointestinal disorders, skin diseases, or even toenail fungus. Acne, pimples, psoriasis, eczema, varicose veins, all of these are caused due to an unhealthy colon, the body's inability to flush waste out effectively. Not 100%, sometimes 70%, sometimes 80%, sometimes zero, constipated for 2 days, 3 days. They've normalized constipation in the West. It's okay to be constipated. You can go to the bathroom once in 2 to 3 days. Not at all. You have to wake up and cleanse your colon every single morning. It's like, your house is infested with cockroaches. And you're constantly every day sitting and, catching one cockroach at a time and throwing it out of the house because we don't want to kill it in Jainism, right? Or you want to, cleanse the house and kill the cockroaches. Up to you. That's your decision. But you are handling the symptoms. What is the root cause of the cockroaches breeding in your house so continuously, right? There must be an unhealthy bunch of waste sitting in your kitchen sink or in your dustbin that you've not cleansed. You have to get to the root cause. You can keep your temple as clean as you want, your mind as clean as you want. But if you're not keeping your colon or the trash bag in your house clean every single day, it is going to lead to infestation of cockroaches, which will enter your temple also, your mind as well. So an unhealthy colon can affect your mind, can create cancer and a whole lot of diseases. It's like having a trash bag in your house for 20 years and only taking out the trash but not changing the bag. The colon is going to get ruptured. So Panchakarma treatment will help you repair the colon and prevent you from holding back toxins, instead allowing you to release toxins on a daily basis in the form of feces, urine, sweat, mucus, tears, earwax, saliva, cough, phlegm, and all possible ways. Eliminating waste on a daily basis. That's what Ayurveda does in preventive healthcare. Dinachari Rituals and Rituchari Rituals. If you're free of toxins, there's no room for diseases. You can actually reverse your aging process. This is another beauty of Ayurveda called Kaya Kalpana. It's a 40-day treatment process where you're kept in isolation and we reverse your aging process. We can take 20 years of your aging process. You can come to us at the age of 60 and you will leave with a metabolic machine age of 40, which you can actually measure on the machine. Nowadays we get these BMI machines that tells you what your metabolic machine age is. We can reverse diseases because, like I said, every 7 years you have a brand new body. Absolutely possible to reverse diseases and have a brand new body. We can reverse the aging process and we can reverse cancer from all the examples that I've told you guys. So these are some examples and I'll be very happy to hear your views, Sapna. I feel like I've been talking nonstop.
No,
I
but
can
honestly,
talk forever. This is a subject very close to my heart, like I said.
yeah, but when you were talking and I was listening, and honestly, we just realized that how fraudulent this good-looking, fruits and vegetables are. How they seep into you, and then the way they grip you, unbelievable. And I mean, I was flabbergasted that, okay, we know that these are wrong things, but what do we do? How to zip, I mean, and now that with the way you were talking, that how many things, that actually brings a disgust. And also, what, when you're talking so much, how much can you help the children? Like, I mean, these are very nice things, but children who are getting so hooked on to all these packet foods and everything that is illegal, everything that is prohibited, is something that we all wanted. We all want only those things which we are not allowed to, especially children. Now, I mean, I
Yeah.
would also prefer that, if you talk something on our future generation, which we need to save and which we need to, encourage them and educate them. So this is something unbelievable. I'm just loving it. So just, I mean, and I'm sure everybody is going to, enjoy this talk. So we want to exploit, as I said in the beginning, we're going to exploit you completely, and waiting, to hear you more and more and more, Pavitra. So it was nice. Yes.
Sapna, I must thank you, first of all, for not having a scripted talk of questions.
Yeah.
I must thank you for that, because you've actually touched all my raw points.
Okay.
You talked about cancer and how it started for me. It started with my childhood friend. And after living a whole circus of life, being a copywriter, TV reporter, TV producer, investment banker, finally, universe knocked on my head saying, what the hell are you doing with your life? And I had to come back to my original purpose, which was to find a cure for my friend who suffered 20 years. And then my aunt passed away a week ago from cancer. So you touched that raw point. And now you're saying, children, let me tell you something. When I quit investment banking and I took a sabbatical and I spent a year traveling around the world in a suitcase, I kept telling the universe, this is the exact conversation I had. And I keep saying this so that people believe the story and start having conversations with the universe. People make a manifestation list of things they want. I made a bucket list when I was 19 and everything got checked by the time I was 33. By some weird, strange coincidence of events, my entire life collapsed, fell apart, and the bucket list started taking shape and everything got checked. My bucket list is done. I suddenly had no reason to wake up. I was like, I'm so bored. My bucket list is done. What do I do next? I had conversations with the universe at that point in time saying, dear universe, people make a list of things they want from you. How about you tell me what you want from me? Tell me why I exist. What is my purpose? What is my journey? What is my story? I'm sure I exist for a reason. It cannot be just to be an investment banker and make money and have a fat bank balance. That's not my story. You tell me what you want from me, and I swear I will not question you. I will not dispute it. I will execute it. No questions asked. So then I started making a list of things that I wanted to do. Preserve a piece of Indian heritage for the rest of the world to inherit, because the whole world is now looking towards India for mental, emotional health support. Create something that our future children can inherit from us. I don't have kids, but I have 30 nieces and nephews. What are they going to inherit from us? A car, a big house, a big business, bank balance, bank loan, debt, diseases? No. What will they inherit from us that is real? Something that will not harm the environment, that will not cause any damage to nature, to Mother Planet, that does not have alcohol, smoking, non-veg in it, or animal torture in it. So these were my rules for the new business I wanted to set up. That's when Ayurveda came to me. Now my 3-year-old niece joins my interviews and looks at the viewers and says, are you Vata Pitta? Which is an Ayurvedic question, what body type you are. So Neha knows and Pavitra Connect knows that during the lockdown, we spent all our time doing free workshops for 85,000 students of Jain University and the 2,000 professors of Jain University, and anybody and everybody who asked us for a workshop, we did it. Because we thought our aim, our vision is to make Ayurveda a household phenomena, a global phenomena and a household practice. And that's going to only happen when we empower women to start cooking well, because men don't make most of the decisions. Women make a lot of decisions, be it financial or be it domestic, right? Empower women and put the information and the knowledge in their hands. Second, we realize if kids could teach their parents what went wrong, it's even better, because I had undergone 4 surgeries before the age of 19, simply because my parents didn't have access to Ayurveda at that point in time. And they did everything. They lived under constant fear of losing me. And they submitted to every single fear, every single phony, information that came from doctors. And they kept getting surgeries done on me. And I was able to avoid my 5th surgery using Ayurveda. And I was able to help my father avoid his 3rd surgery using Ayurveda. So I realized parents have done their bit, giving us a platform, education, voice, access to information. The children now have to do their bit of educating the parents on a better life. So we started doing these workshops and we launched Prana Academy for Ayurvedic Life Sciences, where we teach Ayurveda at a very nominal fee for students from schools and colleges, literally scholarship model sometimes. But for those who can afford it, we charge a decent fee to survive the model. We teach children in the 10-hour masterclass, 20-hour masterclass, up to 100 hours, how much of hours they want, how to take care of the body, oral health, dental health, colon health, stomach health, digestion, metabolism, how to identify the body type, how to design their own diet chart instead of running after a dietitian and paying 10, 20,000 rupees to get the diet design. Sorry, no. A monkey did not go to school or college to learn how to climb trees. You don't need to go to a dietitian to learn how to eat your own food. I'm sorry. You have to own that information. You have to own that knowledge. You have to know what's happening inside your stomach. A dietitian cannot help you. So we teach them how to design their own diet. This for us is now our next goal, to make Ayurveda mandatory education process in all schools and colleges at different levels. We've come up with a syllabus for the 4th grade students, which is now being taught at the Jain International Residential School by the teachers. We've started teaching teachers for free on scholarship basis so that they can start communicating this to the children when the children come to school. Oh, you're having a cold, just have 1 teaspoon of honey with ginger, pepper, turmeric, cinnamon. Oh, are you having constipation? Have a glass of milk with 1 teaspoon of ghee. Oh, are you struggling to lose weight? Are you feeling cold? Have some warm spices like cinnamon, cardamom, clove, grated ginger, pepper, star anise. The teachers should be able to give that information to the children. The children should be able to do a 5-day class at least mandatory every year and graduate slowly into topics they like. They can graduate into, say, Garbha Sanskara or fertility or skincare, hair care or toxicology, anything. Decide what you want to specialize in. But this should become a mandatory education process, like how physical education, PT is, physical training, how, home science has become mandatory. Learning musical instrument has become mandatory. Learning one sport activity, swimming has become mandatory. Learning 3 languages has become mandatory. These are things that were mandatory in my school. Learning the Bhagavad Gita. Learning Ayurveda should become mandatory now. It's a 5,000-year-old science, and it has helped preserve the health of so many generations who didn't have access to hospitals. So what excuse do we have now? Yoga has become a worldwide phenomenon. It went from India to the US and came back as Columbus yoga to India, goat yoga, beer yoga, and whatnot yoga, acrobatic yoga. Don't wait for the Western world to patronize or to approve what you're doing, because you already have all the wisdom. And Ayurveda is practiced more aggressively in California than in Kerala. People are crazy about Ayurveda in California. Every 3rd massage parlor there is an Ayurvedic center. Every 3rd salon massage parlor. They love the power of Ayurveda and yoga. Anything that allows you to take back to nature is your true religion. We get people from all around the world. We have patients from 49 countries, all religions, Muslims, Parsis, Hindu, Jains. Everyone has a protocol. They come with a list. The Islam patients will say, okay, no cow products, no cow urine. Got it. The Hindu patients will come and say, no pig fat. Okay, got it. The Jain patients will come and say, only plant-based, no animal-based products. Got it. So we take all of these into consideration. Ayurveda has a solution for everyone, irrespective of your religious beliefs, your spiritual beliefs, your emotional beliefs, whether you're an atheist or you believe in the Big Bang Theory or believe in God, doesn't matter. Ayurveda has a place for everyone. And I hope we can make this a movement in all schools and colleges. This is what you have to give to your children. This is not something that we should take for granted and that should be lost in translation. That is literally the aim with which I started Prana. And I can't say I anymore because it's a huge team of we who have been investing their dreams, their sweat and energy and blood into this to make this what it is today. You're on mute.
So, wow. For me, this was the most sensitive thing, because being an educationist, my students are my life, they're my heartthrob. So, yes, and Dimple, I am indebted to you, because this is a wonderful thing that you've started in schools. And, yes, children do need to do that. We do need to rely on something that is 5,000 years old. And that is something that is natural. And in whichever ways I can be useful, yes, I am going to promote, I'm going to send out all this video of yours to everybody, because, I think the children, they need to be guided from the beginning. So we don't have them stop at that age where they're helpless. And, when they're just, in the hands of something that is so, gruesome, and there is something, disease. And, we've lost so many people. We've lost so many of them. And this is phenomenal. So yes, any more tips you can give, which I haven't touched. If anything that I've left out, Dimple, please take the liberties of just, telling us as much, please.
Sure, I'll be happy to share some tips. In fact, Sapna, I know you come from the education background. We spoke a little bit about it on the group chat as well. What role do you think teachers can play when the parents are busy providing for the children? Like I just told you, the model that we are trying to apply.
Yes,
What role do you think it can play in fixing people's health? Because, unfortunately, the education system has become very competitive in some parts of the world, many parts of the world, I would say, where the kids are taught how to be competitive, how to be, ambitious and aggressive, how to be college topper, school topper, class topper, how to get a bank loan, get a house, get a car, and best job in the world and everything. But we don't teach our children how to be healthy and happy. Happy is the most important thing. If you don't teach your child how to be happy, you have failed. We have failed our children because happiness leads to health. And any imbalance here, any conflict here, anxiety, stress, depression here, causes the physical cells to replicate what's happening at a mental level because the physical cells are receiving propaganda and agenda from the brain. They replicate the conflict in the mind at a physical level, which is called disease. Disease means not at ease. It is caused due to disconnect, disharmony with nature, leading eventually to disease. What role do you think education can play to help children learn how to be healthy and happy?
yes, it plays an immense role. Because sometimes you don't listen to, most of the time, children don't listen to their parents. They listen to the teachers. They want to actually, because they know that, the teachers are going to speak something that they've learned, and, the respect. There is always that respect factor, and they know that they have to do it. It's out of passion, it's out of, respect that they listen, and especially something that is taught by a teacher and comes from school, that is something, and especially when it is in the form where you can actually prove, everything, like the way you were talking, everything made so much sense. It was not out of thin air, that you were talking, which didn't have anything to, accompany with it. You had all the things. It's like a proper science, you see. So there is no ways that I think children, if they're introduced at, from the teachers, when they're introduced from schools, is something that they would ignore, especially when it comes to health. That I see so many children have eczema. I know so many children, the stress level is so much. And then, they purge or they keep binging into, all these unhealthy food, which is like, which has its own, taste and flavors, they try to always go on to that. Sometimes, when you're upset and all, you eat on all those foods. But if you're educated, when you're taught about all these things, I'm sure, they would know how to structure their life on their own, taking help of the teachers, taking help of school. Like as you said, even Bhagavad Gita, it just helps me so much. It brings so much of calmness. And I'm sure if, Ayurveda also, if it's introduced, it will bring so much of, knowledge, and it will actually shape you up to depend on yourself, to depend on nature, to depend on things which are gifted to us by nature, and rely on that and not rely on anything else. I think that is phenomenal. And I'm sure that, what you've given us, and we must all together, it should become a duty for every individual, to help and to, propagate this, and to, speak it in a big way and make it a lifestyle. I think, that is the only thing. If we take it, if we adults take it seriously, and if we, pass it on and keep forwarding this, I mean, what you spoke made so much sense. It was so helpful. And, once I think, we all can help you out, it would be nothing like this. I mean, I am so indebted, and I was so mesmerized when we were talking. Everything was like, kind of, typing inside my frame that yes, I have to speak and I have to share this with all my students, which I did, not only with my students who are here, I mean, my ex-students and everyone, so I have children from all over the world, like I have from Hong Kong, from Dubai, from, US. I have told everybody that yes, I mean, you have to watch me. And if they don't have time, I'm going to be forwarding this video of yours, and make sure that everybody watches it. And we are going to look out to you. We are going to shout out to you for more and more tips, and, telling us more about it and guiding us in many, many more ways. So this is not it, Dimple. So you're not going to escape. This is not it. We're going to have the curbed by many people. You're going to be, you are going to be answerable to many of us, and you're going to guide us, and you're going to be like a teacher to all of us, So this is just the beginning. So,
I'd
I
be
mean,
very happy to.
Yes. So I don't know you've done a good thing or no, but now you're not going to be spared. So be
No,
prepared with
definitely.
that.
I'm more than happy to. I have, I think, the world's time and energy for this.
Yes.
In fact, before we wind up on any discussion, like quick tip on superfoods that you can include in your diet to prevent cancer.
Yes. Yes.
Um, it just came to my mind. I'm sorry, I've jumped the topic. I was like, wait, I have to share this. I'm
Yes.
not a doctor. I'm an Ayurvedic health coach in terms of the fact that I have an Ayurvedic healthcare center. I have doctors, therapists who treat patients. I have access to herbs and n number of medicines. I have a research center and an academy for Ayurvedic life sciences. And now we have our Ayurvedic skincare line because the skin drinks everything that we apply on it. So we decided not to feed our skin anything that's cancerous. It has to be edible products that we apply on our skin, literally food-based products. So this is where my expertise plays a role in terms of food. Now remember, we're born alkaline, we die acidic. What does that mean? We're born alkaline, we die acidic. So the foods that we've ingested over a period of time has caused our body to become acidic and diseased. Right? How do I keep my body alkaline on a daily basis? This is something that all of us can do. You don't need to spend 1.5 lakh or 2 lakhs buying expensive water filters that alkalizes the water. Please don't do it. I'm not a big fan. Anything that alters water at a molecule level is very strange. It's very strange for me. Like, you cannot alter nature and then consume it. You have to consume nature in its natural form. Boiled water is the best way to consume water. It kills all the bacteria and parasites there is, and all the heavy metals get settled at the bottom, and then you use a muslin cloth to filter the water. Boiled water is the only source of fresh water. That's number one. Number two, when you wake up in the morning, after you do your Dinachari rituals, which is oil pulling, that is swishing sesame oil, gargling of the throat with hot water, turmeric, and salt, steaming the lungs with eucalyptus oil and hot water, brushing your teeth with a bitter, astringent, pungent toothpaste that has clove oil in it, scraping your tongue with a copper tongue cleaner, drinking 200 ml of warm water to flush all the toxins down and cleansing the colon out, waking up between 5 to 7 a.m. when the colon is most active so that you can eliminate diseases and toxins. After you do all of this, the first thing you should consume is something that should alkalize your stomach, because cancer cannot exist in an environment that's alkaline. There are two magical ingredients Mother Nature has provided. You don't need a water filter. Again, I repeat. Tender coconut water is the purest form of water in this world. Second is lemon squeezed in water. These two can alkalize your body and prevent cancer. In fact, after you get cancer also, the doctors generally put you on lemon shots 3 to 5 times a day to kill cancer. It's a better chemo than chemo. Lemon shots. Okay. Now, who should take lemon shots? Vata can take it. Kapha can take it. Pitta not so much, because they get a burning sensation. So if you get a burning sensation, it means you're not supposed to take lemon shots. Please don't overdo it. If you have excruciating body pain also, lemon is not for you. Tender coconut water is better. In fact, if you're in a jungle and if you have, God forbid, an accident and no access to glucose, you can actually take sterilized needle and introduce coconut water directly into your bloodstream. It's that pure. Okay, that's the purest form of Mother Nature in a shell. Second, before eating any cooked meal, 1 hour before that, you must have a bowl of fruits before breakfast and before dinner. 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., have a big bowl of fruits. There are fruits that are loaded with antioxidants like berries and cherries, like blueberries, cranberries, raspberries, which is available overseas. In India, we have the Indian gooseberry, which is amla, loaded with vitamin C, anti-carcinogenic properties. Excellent. Okay. Then there is also neem ka patta, Philanthus nuduri, bui amla ka patta. They're also anti-cancer, loaded with antioxidants, anti-inflammatory conditions. They help in preventing diseases. So there are two reasons we have diseases. One is inflammatory conditions of the organ, and second is accumulation of mucus. That is a breeding ground for diseases. So neem, Philanthus nuduri, which is bui amla ka patta, brahmi, guduchi, amla, chavanprash, giloy, ashwagandha, shatavari, gugul. These are top 10 herbs that all of us should have in the house. And depending on the condition, we consume it every day. Okay, it's not food, it's medicine. So don't abuse it. Honey also can be had as a form of medicine. Having these will help in preventing cancer. And even if there is 1 or 2 cells that are misbehaving, cancer gets detected at a later stage. It doesn't get detected early. So even if 1 or 2 cells have started misbehaving, these herbs and medicines will correct it, saying, hey, behave yourself, or you're out of this body, or we flush you out of the system. Right? So you need to have these. Then bowl of fruits, like I said, 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Do not mix fruits with cooked breakfast. A bowl of steamed salads before lunch. Carrot and cucumber also alkalizes your body, and it helps prevent cancer. There are superfoods available like pomegranate, black grapes, beetroot, carrot, spinach. All of these are superfoods that helps in preventing cancer. Pomegranate and black grapes helps in purifying the blood. Beetroot helps in generating new blood. These are medicines that will help in purifying the blood and giving you beautiful skin and hair, and at the same time an assurance that you will not get cancer. And most importantly, keep your mind extremely positive, because you only attract what is happening in your mind. Your reality is a reflection of what you thought. What you visualize is what the universe is going to send in your way. If you keep saying, I don't want cancer, I don't want cancer, the universe cannot hear the word I don't want. It only hears cancer and says, okay, here cancer. I'm too busy listening to 7.5 billion people in the world. I'll just listen to the keywords and give you what you want. Be very careful of the language you speak, because your body is listening to you. The cells that are being generated every 4 seconds are listening to your language, your communication, your thoughts. Be very careful what thought comes into your mind. Any negative thought, cancel, 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 cancel. A positive thought, let it breathe. Move away from problem thinking to problem solving. Take emotions out of your decisions. Take emotions out of an event. The event is 5%, reaction is 95%. Don't overreact to events, because you're creating trauma here, which is creating trauma for your organs. These are few basic things: eating clean, following the circadian rhythm of the sun, eating all the superfoods, and keeping your mind clean, keeping your heart clean. Be very careful what kind of thoughts and emotions you're generating. Make sure your intentions are always pure and kind, and causes no harm to any human being, any plant or animal or bird, because what we vibrate comes back to us. The universe is a boomerang. It simply boomerangs back at you whatever emotion you created for others. So these are a few basic things to live a life cancer-free.
So after very long, I felt myself like a student in front of my teacher, listening. Most doing, keep myself completely muted. I mean, it was a phenomenal experience.
So
Dimple, I mean, I don't know whether people are short on time and what it is, because to trust onto people with so many things also sometimes, overdone also could be, not a good idea. But I feel that, you are phenomenal. And I am thanking Pavitra team to, have you and give me an opportunity to be with you. And we must have many more of this. Dimple, we can't let go of you. We have to hold you tight, because that
I
is,
look forward.
like the biggest thing. Yes. I think you're the biggest blessing, and we should not let go of you, So,
Too
I
kind of you to
mean,
say so
you
many
are
things.
phenomenal. I
I'm very
mean
humbled.
every word that I said.
I'm really humbled. I must tell you, like, it's a very humbling opportunity for me. Like, 3 years ago when I started the clinic, I lived in complete hiding, because I wanted to completely dedicate my life to Seva. I didn't want to be in the forefront of my previous careers. But I think God has his own ways, with the lockdown, I was forced to come on social media. I was forced to finally share what I know, thanks to my doctors and therapists who have taught me everything that I know. And I'm just really humbled that on a topic so intense and deep, I was asked to share some of my views and ideas and success stories. I can only hope that this hope that I have, this hope that we are trying to create for 2021, reaches your hearts, touches your lives, and reminds you that anything is possible. Every disease can be reversed, so believe and keep hoping and keep smiling and keep a very positive state of mind always.
Yes. Also, Dimple, I don't know about time right now, but yes, one session I would like where my friends and all would like to
Can you guys hear me? I think we just lost Sapna.
I can hear you, but Sapna Mataji, maybe.
Yeah, I think there's some connection issues. She should be back. Um, it was wonderful. I mean, I'm just going to fill in for the silence here till Sapna comes back, so that it's not awkward
audible.
for you guys
Am
looking
I
at my
am I
face.
audible?
Yes, Sapna, you're
Yeah.
audible. Welcome back.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So you know what, Dimple, can we plan a session where people can be given an opportunity to ask you questions? Because I know
Sure,
you, whatever
why
you
not?
spoke. Yeah, whatever you spoke was phenomenal, no doubt about it. You've given us more than what we could have, thought of. But I'm sure there are different people with different, problems, health issues, and different lifestyles, and many. I'm sure they will be having something. So, I mean, I know that you would be saying that give an inch and she's asking for an L. But yes, I want that one. I would request Pavitra team if they allow. to have a, question answer session, because many of my friends have done courses with you. Many of my friends have heard you, they've, followed you, and, they were so happy that I was with you. So, I mean, if Team Pavitra allows, and if you also have enough time, I would like to do that one question answer session very
For
soon.
sure.
Yeah.
Please pick any
So,
date and time and let me know. It'll be an honor for me to be there.
yes, please. We would love to. So looking forward for that. And anything else? I mean, or, I think this is enough for us to just meditate upon. Keep, let it just keep, hearing it, listening it again and again, so that, it reverberates in our system, and it kind of grip us with whatever you've taught, because that doesn't need to be, washed off or forgotten and replaced by other videos and, things like that. This should be like, something that people should store it, because this gives a lot of things that you've spoken. I mean, at least to a person like me, and I'm sure many people must have, benefited. I'm going to store this. I'm sure everybody else also will be storing this, so that we can keep munching on this all the time.
For sure, for sure. I look forward to more such sessions, and I just hope that people take preventive healthcare lifestyle very seriously.
Mm,
Like how
yes,
you do a master checkup every year. Please meet an Ayurvedic
yes,
doctor every year to check imbalances in your body. Get it corrected at an early stage. Don't wait for things to become too late. Prevention is
yes,
better than I'm repeating it again.
sure. Yes. And do let us know when you have your seminars or your camps or whatever, that people can come and educate themselves and make the most of it. Please do let us send that. So I mean, even I'll forward it to many of my friends, because a lot of my friends are your fans, and a lot of my
How
friends follow
sweet.
you.
How
And
sweet.
so yeah, so please, they were all super excited. So maybe, many of them cannot join now, because, they are in between, I mean, my students for that matter, they are in their school right now, so they couldn't. But, and
So, you know what you could do for everyone who's just messaging also on the next seminars? You could follow me on Instagram. It's called Dimple Jangda, Jangda, the same name that is reflecting on the screen. There's also Prana by Dimple Jangda, which is my clinic and the academy. I post one health tip every single day, and I try to bust some myths and speak about viruddhahar, bad combinations of food, daily rituals, seasonal rituals. I talk a lot about these. This information and knowledge is for free. If you can follow me on Instagram, I'll be very happy to share as much information as possible. And all my upcoming seminars and workshops are always mentioned on my Instagram page. So I'll be very happy to, share these tidbits with you guys.
sure, sure, definitely, So yes, we all will be following you. Now we will see that there are going to be many more followers. And that's the thing that, I mean, you were very effective, Dimple. You were very effective. So I'm mesmerized, So thank you so much. And thank you, Team Pavitra. You've been super. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak my heart out, which was dormantly lying, and helplessly, surrendering myself to this devouring. I didn't know. I used to actually tell people, oh, this has happened to my mom, this has happened to my nanny, this has happened to my sister. I don't know when I'll pop off. So let me make the most of it. I'd actually taken my life like that, but I know that it's never too late, so I can start from today right now, waiting for, that, and I'm going to follow you. So thank you so much.
Thank
It
you
was
guys.
really
Lots of love,
pleasure, really loved
light.
it. Lots of love. Thank you so much. Take care.